What about when you were a kid yourself? Who was your masculine role model?
Oh, I think I had a number of them, but it would probably primarily have been my father and some of my friends, because peers play an important role in development, especially after the age of about 4. But I would definitely say it was my father.
And how would you describe his masculinity?
Well, to your point, he spent a tremendous amount of time with me when I was a kid. And they're very fond memories as far as I'm concerned. Like when I was very young, 2 and 3, my dad would come home from work and he spent an hour and a half with me a night for a long time teaching me to read, which has been of inestimable benefit with me. And he did many things with me. You know, we hunted and trapped and canoed and fished and he was a harsh guy in many ways. He was a disciplinarian in some sense. But he was very honest and very good craftsman, and so I learned a lot about trying to conduct yourself in a respectable manner from him. So,
were you a tough kid, or were you a careful kid, or what kind of kid were you?
I guess it depends on what you mean by tough. No, I don't think if you would have met me when I was a kid, you would have thought I was tough. I'm kind of a tender-hearted character, and I was skipped a grade, and I was small for my age, and so I certainly wasn't physically tough in the standard sense. Because I was small and because I'd been put ahead of grade, I was never particularly facile at sports, and that was kind of a problem. I did something about that when I got older, but I hung around with tough kids, but that was partly because most of the kids that were in the town I grew up in were either tough kids or were sort of off the radar entirely. And maybe that was a certain amount of compensation. I could defend myself verbally fairly well, but that tended to get me hung up by my shirt collar in closets and played catch with on the stairs and that sort of thing in junior high. So,
is it like? Do you come from an environment where weakness was a bad thing, where self-pitying was a bad thing?
Where self-pitying was a bad thing, I would say yes. I come from that background, but that was par for the course, I would say, when I grew up. And I mean, where I grew up, it was still a frontier place in some sense. You know, my town was only 50 years old, and people were essentially self-reliant to the degree that was possible. It was certainly the case within my family on